Before you were somebody's mother or father, before the diaper changes, the school runs, packed lunches, and even the mini teenage interventions, who were you? Not who you used to be. Like it's a past tense thing. I mean, is she still in there? Is he still in there? Do you even know what you like anymore? Not what's convenient or what fits into the 23 minutes you get after bedtime, but what you as a singular human being actually like spending your time on. Now, if you had to sit with that question for longer than 5 seconds, then stay with me. Okay, so the last time we talked about realigning as a parent, we did the pulse check, we named where we had drifted, we picked our one thing, and if you did that genuinely, well done. That's not a small thing to do. But while I was putting that episode together, something kept nagging at me because we can do all of that, the intentional bedtime, the keeping your phone down during connection time, the values showing up in the home, and then still come out of the other side feeling a bit, hollow, empty, a bit like we're operating a very well run machine that we ourselves are not really inside there like that. Because I mean, you were a whole person before you even became a parent. You had life interests and maybe even a sense of humor that wasn't just mom or dad jokes. You had big dreams that had absolutely nothing to do with anyone's homework or anyone's schedule. And somewhere in the beautiful, exhausting business of raising other human beings, a lot of us have quietly put that person on hold. The funny thing is that it didn't happen dramatically at all. It just gradually began to fade. So today isn't about the little ones. It's about you, that particular person underneath the role of a parent. So same as last time, before we can move forward or realign, we have to honestly call it what it is. And if you didn't know, this type of drift is even much more sneakier than the parenting one because it doesn't look like a crisis or chaos. It presents itself as normal life. Now let's look at what I think are the five most prominent areas. Number one, the disappearing hobby. So you used to paint or play an instrument, you used to read for pleasure or run, or whatever your version of that was at the time. And at some point you stopped. It's not like you decided to, but because there was just always something more urgent. And now if someone asks you, what do you do for you? You genuinely have to think about it, and you may even struggle a bit to answer that question. Number two is what I call on a rest deficit. And I don't mean sleep, although let's be honest, that's part of it too. But in this case, I mean actual rest, the kind where your mind gets to stop managing and processing 100 things per minute. A lot of us confuse lying down while scrolling with rest. That's not it. Let me break the news to you. It's not the same. Real rest requires you to stop performing every role. Just stop everything for a moment. And most of us haven't done that in longer than we'd like to admit. Now, moving on to number three. This one is the friendships that quietly fade. It's not like anything chaotic happened, nobody fell out with anybody. It's just that life got full. Plans got cancelled one too many times, and eventually people just stopped asking, and you stopped reaching out as well. And now there's this low hum of loneliness that you can't quite explain because on paper, your life is still full of people, just that the people are not always for you. The fourth one is the one that stings the most. It's the identity fog. Now, this is when the question of what do you want becomes a genuinely hard question because it's not what your kids want, not what your home needs, it's what do you want. Some of us have gotten so fluent in everyone else's preferences that our own have gone quiet. We have no idea what to respond with, and it's not that you don't have any, it's just that you've stopped asking yourself a long time ago. Now, the fifth one, and you need to be really mindful about this one, it's the guilt that shows up the second you try to fix any of these things. So you decide to take 1 hour for yourself, and then you go ahead and spend 40 of those minutes feeling like you should be doing something else, something more productive, something more for the family. Listen, this type of guilt is very convincing, and we're going to talk about why it's lying to you. Those are my five. Let me know in the comments if you have any to add, because I promise you that whichever one of them you've just felt in your chest, somebody else listening to this felt it too. Now, here's what I need you to hear, the same way I needed you to hear it the last time. Wanting to be a person outside of parenting is not selfish. You're not betraying your kids, and it's definitely not you loving them any less. I'll say that again. Wanting to still be a whole person is not in any way in competition with being a good parent. In fact, and I really believe that it's the opposite. A parent who is depleted, who has no interests, no rests, no friendships, no sense of self left at all, cannot pour from an empty cup, no matter how much love is in there. Something has got to be in the cup first. And your kids are watching, by the way. They are learning what an adult life is supposed to look like by watching yours. If all they ever see is a parent who has disappeared into the role, that becomes automatically their own blueprint. And a number of times I've had to catch myself in the middle of doing something and I see my toddler watching me closely. The abruptness of which I used to stop surprises even me. Don't ask what I do. That's a topic for another day. But because I like you guys, I'll give you an example. For instance, I eat on the road, or eating while driving instead of focusing or waiting till we get home. Personally, for me in particular, I don't admire that habit in myself, and I definitely don't want my child growing up and learning that. So I'm trying to stop it, which is why I catch myself. Anyways, let's not digress. The point is that they're always watching. So this is not about doing less for your family. This is really about making sure that there's still a person left underneath all of it. Now, as I did in the last episode, let's touch on 5 areas that you can sit with honestly. And these are questions you need to answer very truthfully. Number one is the identity. What's the one thing, just one, that you enjoy purely because you enjoy it, with no productivity attached, no benefits to anyone else? Can you name it right now without having to think for 30 seconds? Number two is rest. When was the last time you actually rested? I don't mean sleep, as I said, or an uninterrupted hour of scrolling on social media. I mean, when was the last time you actually properly stopped? Do you have any time in your week, in your day, even 20 minutes that is protected as yours, resting your mind, resting your brain, just resting? Number three is growth. Are you still learning anything? Are you still curious about things? Or has your world quietly shrunk down into logistics and maybe home maintenance? Are you improving on areas you know you need some upgrade, maybe in your skill set or even professionally? Number four is connection. Now, beyond your kids, your other family members, and your co-parent, if you have one, do you have other people? Are you actually nurturing friendships and not just the ones that exist in theory? Lastly, at number five is joy. When was the last time you did something just for the fun of it? No lessons attached, no self-improvement angle, nothing like that. You just did it just because it made you laugh or made you feel alive. That's it. That's the pulse check for the person underneath the parent. And if most of these made you go quiet for a second, that's alright. That's exactly why we're having these conversations. So same rule applies here really. I'm not asking you to reclaim your entire identity by Friday. That's not realistic, obviously. And most importantly, that's the kind of pressure that makes people give up even before they start. Trust me, I've been there before, one too many times. I'm saying pick one today, just one area from the pulse check that's calling out to you the loudest right now, and choose one small, doable way to put something back into your own cup this week. It could be texting one friend, actually make a plan, not just the we should catch up soon message, which is a fancy way of see you never or see you whenever life chooses. No, we don't do that here anymore. Our lives have changed and they're constantly changing. Now, we could also be spending 20 minutes on the hobby that you dropped ages ago, even just to see if you still like doing that. You could be sitting in the car for 5 extra minutes before you walk into the house after work, where you're just breathing, you're doing absolutely nothing productive, just time for yourself. Because the whole formula is really to start small but be consistent. And it worked for the parenting side, it will definitely work here too. So go ahead and tell me in the comment section which one you're picking. And if you haven't already grabbed the parental pulse check download from part 1, it's linked again in the description box. And this episode pairs very well with it. So that's it. We talked about the person underneath the parent, naming where you've disappeared a little bit, understanding that wanting yourself back isn't selfish, and choosing one small way to start showing up for you. Here's what I keep coming back to though. It's that legacy isn't just what we intentionally build in our kids. It's also what they observe by watching how we treat ourselves. I believe that a well-rounded parent is a whole parent, and also a parent who still has a self is part of the legacy too. So plant that seed for yourself, even if it's a small one. You're allowed to. In fact, you absolutely need to. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to drop a comment and tell me your one thing. I read every single one of them, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.